The Abominable Snowman. Hey, so I'm going to let you join me on one of my favorite things to do, which is read Choose Your Own Adventure books. I'm going to try this out. First, I want to see if there's enough response to do more, but hit like, subscribe if you do. But why I like these is because I've never liked reading books. I know, I'm sorry. I'm more of a movie guy. I get 10 pages and it's just, after that, sometimes I just want to quit and just be done with the story. So I like these because it's great for your brain, and I know that, and so I need to force myself to do it. And so sometimes when I get to that point, I like these, because when I'm trying to force myself to maybe quit in the story, sometimes that's the wrong answer and I end up reading longer. But regardless, I love these, and I'm going to start reading them again, and I'm going to start with one. So join along and read with me. Also, my cats will be joining as well. The Abominable Snowman. This also talks about kids love reading. Choose your own adventure. And I mean, I do. I'm a kid at heart. Always will be. Some dedications. I love the intro, especially for number 1. It's almost Star Wars effect. So I'll start with that, then with the first beginning. Beware and warning. This book is different from other books. You and you alone are in charge of what happens in this story. There are dangers, choices, adventures, and consequences. You must use all of your numerous talents and much of your enormous intelligence. The wrong decision could end in disaster, even death. But don't despair. At any time, you can go back and make another choice, alter the path of your story, and change its results. Also, if we do continue, if you don't like something I said or did, comment below and choose a different path, and I may do a follow-up and go from there in the future. You and your best friend Carlos have traveled to Nepal in search of the fabled Yeti, or Abominable Snowman. Last year, while the two of you were mountain climbing in South America, a guide told you about the legendary creature, and you haven't stopped thinking about the Yeti since. Carlos arrived and went straight into the mountains when a Yeti sighting was reported. He hasn't been heard from in 3 days. A late monsoon storm has moved in, and the mountains are almost impassable. You know, Carlos will depend on you to do the right thing, but what is it? You were a mountain climber 3 years ago. You spent the summer at a climbing school in the mountains of Colorado. Your instructors said that you had the natural skill as a climber. You made rapid progress, and by the end of the summer, you were leading difficult rocks and ice climbs. That summer, you became close friends with a boy named Carlos. The two of you made a good climbing team. Last year, you and he were chosen to join an international team. The expedition made it to the top of the 2 unclimbed peaks in South America. One night on that expedition, the group was seated around the cook tent at the base camp. The expedition leader, Franz, told stories of climbing in the Himalayas, the highest mountains in the world. Turn to page 2, then page 4. And if you want to see the Himalayas, learn more about them if you want to on your own. If you've ever been there, comment below, because that would be cool to hear. All right, page 4. The Himalayas form a great natural wall between India and China, with Nepal tucked in amid the peaks. Everest K2 and Annapurna are the best known mountains in the Himalayas. I don't know Annapurna well enough to say it. These and many other peaks have been climbed. Still others lie in remote areas where few humans have gone. There, said Franz, in the high valleys beneath the snowfields, lives the Yeti, sometimes called the Abominable Snowman. The Yeti is said to be a huge beast, Franz tells you, perhaps a cross between a gorilla and a human. People cannot agree what it is. Is the Yeti dangerous? Carlos asked. Franz shrugged. Some say it is. Other people say the Yeti is very gentle. Have you ever seen one? You inquire. No, almost no one has. The best proof of the Yeti's existence is a set of very large footprints discovered in the 1950s by a British expedition. No one has ever photographed one that I have heard of, Franz answers, but still the stories persist. Go on to the next page. You and Carlos decide then and there to find the Yeti. When you return from South America, the two of you raised money from the International Foundation for Research into Strange Phenomena. Your goal? Proof positive that Yeti exists. You will find and photograph the Yeti. That is what brings you to Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. Your problems, though, have already begun. 2 days ago, Carlos left by helicopter to look over the terrain near Mount Everest. The helicopter returned without him. The pilot told you that Carlos decided to stay up at the Everest base camp to check out a report that a Yeti had been seen. He had a radio transmitter, but you have received no word from him. The weather turned bad and radio communication has interrupted. You have an appointment to speak with R.N. Runel, the Director of Expeditions and Mountain Research and an authority on the Yeti. He knows of your plans. You need his help with official permits for the expedition. He will also have good advice and information. But what about Carlos? This is our first part that we get to choose our own adventure. If you decide to cancel your meeting with Ronald and search for Carlos, turn to page 7. If you feel that Carlos is okay and go ahead with your plan to meet Ronald, turn to page 8. I'm going to go with the first. If you decide to cancel your meeting with Ronald and search for Carlos, turn to page 7. If there is an accompanying, I will show it. You telephone Mr. Runel at the Foreign Ministry. This is an emergency, Mr. Runel. My friend Carlos is missing at base camp. I need help right now. Of course, I understand. Please allow me the honor of coming with you. I know the region well. You gladly accept the help of Mr. Runel. His reputation as a mountaineer is excellent. He is able to arrange for a Royal Nepalese Army helicopter to meet you at the Tribhuvan airport. 2 hours later, you land at the Everest base camp where Carlos was last seen. His red nylon mountain tent is still there, but the storm has erased all footprints. Most reports of the Yeti have them well below base camp, but it is possible that they are up high. It is possible that they are up this high. Runel says as the two of you stand by the tent looking at the glacier and high peaks. If you and Runel search below the base camp in the valley, turn to page 9. If you go above base camp, turn to page 13. I want to go above base camp. Let's go high. Above the base camp are the dangerous seracs. These huge blocks of ice are always moving, and people climbing through the maze of ice are in constant danger. Runel leads the way. You both have crampons on your boots. A slender red and yellow nylon rope links the two of you. It's a safety rope. Watch out, jump. A block of ice, watch out, jump. A block of ice quivers and tumbles to the side, sending clouds of snow and ice crystals in the air. Runel had seen it just in time. You move more slowly now, wary of these treacherous Serics. On the backside of a Seric as large as a 2-story house, you find him. Carlos is sitting in the sun, fidgeting with his camera. Hey, what are you guys doing here? That's what we want to know. You scared us to death with your disappearing act. What's up? Carlos puts the camera away, and after you introduce him to Runel, explains that he found tracks, Yeti tracks perhaps, and followed them. He tried to radio, but the weather blocked it. The tracks faded, and he couldn't find his way back to the camp. He had been sitting and waiting. Runel examines one track protected from drifting snow and explains that they are blue bear tracks and not Yeti tracks. So disappointed. You go back to the helicopter and return to Kathmandu. Turn to page 14. The next day you go to the shop of Sangi Podong Sorba, a well-known Sherpa guide. Carlos stays with Runel, getting the permits. You enter the store, and there behind a counter stacked with dried food in plastic bags, tanks of gas for mountain stoves, and wool hats is Sangi Sorba. You introduce yourself, and immediately you like this man. He's warm and friendly, and recently he has been with the Japanese expedition to Pamori and a French Everest attempt. Maybe you should ask him to join you as you search for the Yeti. If you ask Sangi to come along in your expedition, turn to page 23. If you wait and decide to talk it over with Carlos, turn to page 22. I like the team player aspect. Let's talk it over with Carlos. 22. You think Carlos should have a chance to meet Sangi. You occupy yourself with buying the high-altitude tents, ice axes, crampons, ropes, pitons, and ice screws, while looking through a rack of down-filled parkas used on previous mountain expeditions. You come across one that attracts your attention. It's a purple parka, medium-sized. One of the pockets is filled with something. You give it a quick look around the shop to make sure that no one is watching and undo the Velcro flaps. It feels like there's a rock in the pocket. You take it out and unwrap the heavy brown paper that covers it. It's a skull? Could this be a Yeti skull? Yikes. There's a piece of paper stuffed inside the skull. It's a map, and it shows a road leading from Kathmandu to the town of Nagarkot. There is an X marked next to an abandoned temple on the Hindu god Shiva. Turn to page 34. Also, as I do this feedback I'm hopefully getting better. We'll get better as we go through here. For more of these in the future. This is too exciting to wait for Carlos. Carpe diem, as they say. You walk over to the counter and ask Sangi where the parka came from. Sangi looks up in surprise. There is fear in his eyes when he sees you holding up the purple parka. Oh, that is not for sale. That is a mistake to have it here. Please give it back to me. Give it to me. Give it to me. You look in the parka, and there, near the collar, is Sangi's name stenciled in black ink. You look up and see Sangi moving toward you with an ice axe in his hand. He raises the ice axe. You throw the parka at him. It's enough to startle him. You run for the door, but standing there are two tough-looking men. One has a beard, and the other is clean-shaven, with hair hanging down to his shoulders. You jive to the right, duck to the left, and make for the rack of ice axes at the back of the shop. Turn to page 21. You're quick, but not quick enough. Sengi drops the axe and pulls both your arms behind your back. The two men who were in the doorway are now inside the store. One of them shuts the door and bolts it. The click of the bolt, locking you in and helps you out. It's omnipotent. It's ominous. The three men surround you. Foolish one, now you have gone too far. Why are you here? What do you want? Sengi snarls at you. The man with the beard holds a small, ugly-looking automatic pistol. I mean no harm. I just wanted to see what was inside the pocket, where there's no way out. We need both of you for our plan. You will send a message to your friend telling him you've found an important clue. Get him to come here. If you don't, we'll kill you on the spot. If you do as they say, maybe you'll live. As you do as we say, maybe you'll live. We'll have to see. We've been following you two. We thought we would use you to get this stuff out of the country. He points at packages wrapped in brown paper. What is in it, you wonder? This is an awful position to be in. What do you do now? If you say you'll write the note to Carlos, turn to page 46. If you refuse, turn to page 47. Oh, here's this picture. I'm not doing it. 47. I'm not gonna write it. Never. I'm never falling for your stuff. If you want Carlos, then go after him yourself. At that very moment, there is a loud knock on the door. Open up, police! You're surrounded! The door crashes open and 3 Nepalese soldiers and a police officer rush in. Carlos is behind them. The officer nods at the strangers and say, "Hands up! Well, we finally got you, didn't we? It's jail for you. Smugglers are all the same. Fortunately, we have been following you for the last 3 weeks. When you started following these two, we followed them also. Carlos has helped us. Your smuggling days are over. You are badly shaken, but the Nepalese government now consider you and Carlos heroes, and they will give you all the help you need for your expedition." The end. So, we didn't find the Abominable Snowman, but that doesn't mean there's maybe some fun characters left in this book, or to be found in other adventures. Feedback, please, but also just like, subscribe, and maybe we'll do this again. Oh, Pumpkin is the orange cat, Jasper's the black cat, and the gray is Winchester, because I'm sure you'll be asking in the future.